Hey there guys, I'm back to another game review. Today we'll be taking a look at Splatoon 2 on the Nintendo Switch. Splatoon 2, the first game, took the world by storm on the Wii U, surprising pretty much everyone with how much fun the game actually was. I didn't play much of the first Splatoon game because I didn't purchase it. The fact that the game wasn't even finished when it launched and had a bunch of updates sprinkled throughout its life cycle, it kind of turned me off. I was gonna purchase it and then they announced the sequel, so I kind of just ended up waiting for that. Because of my lack of knowledge of the first game, this review will strictly be focused on Splatoon 2, meaning I will not be comparing this game to the predecessor. The story mode of Splatoon 2 focuses on one of the Squid Sisters from the first game, Marie. Marie needs your help as Agent 4 to get the Great Zapfish back into Inkopolis. The plot is pretty silly. It's a Nintendo game, all things considered, but even when things get serious or things start to ramp up, I can't help but cringe a little bit because it's a plot about humanoid squids called Inklings trying to rescue this big catfish. Outside of the plot itself, the story mode consists of over 20 missions to complete, spread out through these 5 areas. The missions are mainly about saving these Zapfish, which are kind of like the stars within Mario Galaxy. The levels have a heavy emphasis on platforming and using the many different weapon types within this game. Because of this, the story mode is sort of like a larger tutorial mode for newer players. Being able to try out all the weapons was a great idea by the developers. But as a person who skipped the story mode altogether and only played it through for this video, the story mode didn't do much for me. I already knew what weapons I liked and didn't like before starting this campaign mode, like the sniper rifle. I never used the sniper rifle in this game, ever. I knew I wouldn't like it, and when I had to try it out, I didn't like it. I sure do hope that the shotgun umbrella, though, like, when that hits the multiplayer mode, that's gonna be so good. Also, the boss fights within this game are actually, like, pretty good. Some of them did give me a decent challenge, but overall, the story mode can be skipped upon. It didn't do much for me as a player who skipped it entirely and only played it for this video, but if you feel like you need a place where you need to practice your game and need to try out new weapons and stuff like that, story mode should help. Now moving on to the multiplayer stuff, which is where this game really shines. Starting off with the multiplayer mode, you'll be level 1. For now, you'll have to go into regular battle mode, which has Turf War. The objective of Turf War is to cover up the map in your team's ink. The team with the higher percentage at the end wins. This game mode is great, especially for players who can't really aim, because the objective is to not kill people, it's to cover up the map in your ink. A great game mode to start off with newer players. Once you get to level 10, you'll be able to get into ranked battles. In ranked, you'll have 3 different game modes: Splat Zone, Tower Control, and Rainmaker. Splat Zone requires your team to control an area for 100 seconds. Once a team's time runs out, they win, or the team with the lower amount of time remaining wins. Think of this sort of like King of the Hill, and the hill is always within the middle of the map. This is probably my favorite game mode out of the 3, simply because it's similar to Turf War in a sense that if you're bad at aiming, you can still win Splat Zone games as long as you're keeping the area clear of the enemy team's ink. Also, this ranked mode allows comebacks to happen a hell of a lot easier than the other 2, especially within lower ranks. Tower Control requires a team to move a tower to the enemy side of the map. The tower is always on a set path and requires you to hit 3 checkpoints before reaching the end. Tower Control is probably my least favorite game mode out of the 3, simply because it's frustrating to play. When I play Tower Control, I sometimes feel like I'm the only one going on the tower and the rest of my team's just doing their own thing. If one team is coordinated within taking the tower and pushing forward, the other team needs to respond fast or else they'll lose instantly. This game is very snowbally because of the nature of Splatoon. Inklings die very easily, with respawn timers being reasonably long. This game mode requires a lot of communication, but unfortunately, Nintendo doesn't provide sufficient enough ways to communicate with teammates. Like saying "this way" in Booyah isn't enough. Tower Control is a frustrating game mode to newer and older players like myself. The Rainmaker requires one team to get the Rainmaker and capture it into the enemy base. Once it's captured, the game is over. The Rainmaker has this charge up blast, which can be very effective in killing enemies, but also makes you very vulnerable to enemy attack, so you need your teammates to help you out if you're the one with the Rainmaker. this game mode can be just as snowbally as tower control, maybe even more so, but you can solo carry within Rainmaker if you know the map layout and how to use the Rainmaker efficiently. I like this game mode a lot more than tower control because you're not on a set path. You can choose whatever path you want to get to victory. Also, being able to solo carry is a nice touch. Splat Zone and Tower Control require a little bit more teamwork behind it. I'm not saying Rainmaker requires zero teamwork at all, but Rainmaker, in my opinion, requires the least amount of teamwork out of these 3 rank modes. I did say you need your teammates to help you out if you're the one with the Rainmaker, but if you know how to kill enemies with the Rainmaker efficiently, solo carrying is definitely possible, especially within the C ranks. Speaking of ranks, the ranking system is based on lettering. Everyone starts off at C-, and you'll gradually get up to C to C+, and so on. Also, the ranking for each game mode is separate, which is great. I'm definitely a lot better at Splat Zone than Tower Control. If you lose enough games, you will de-rank slightly. If you're past 1/4 of the meter, you'll lose all of your progress within your current rank and just stay the same rank. But if you de-rank and you have yet to pass that 1/4 mark, you'll move down a full tier. Before you head into a game, you'll want to look at your equipment. Your equipment consists of your weapon of choice, headgear, clothes, and your shoes. Your weapon can range from a regular blaster to a paint bucket to a paintbrush, etc. Make sure you try out all of the weapons to see which one fits your playstyle. The headgear, clothes, and shoes have attributes attached to them, sort of like perks within Call of Duty. These attributes will enhance your character within certain aspects. The first one is a given, but the others are completely random. Why? Why would you make the rest of my attributes in my equipment random? You can scrub your equipment to try again to get better attributes, but it's still random. You can select slots within your equipment to get the desired attribute you want, but only when you have enough scrub coins for your clothes, which is a half-ass solution in my opinion. Instead of making it random, then putting this really complicated and stupid way of getting the attributes you want, why not just have it be player choice? Speaking of choice, I don't know why they did this, but the maps and game modes will rotate every 2 hours. So that means if you're not really into tower control like me and the current rank mode is tower control, I guess you're playing tower control for the next 2 hours until they rotate it. Like, why not just have separate rank modes for these game types? It literally makes 0 sense for this type of rotation. Also, why restrict it to only 2 maps? It's literally a 50-50 shot of playing the other map when you just finished a game. You can play on the same map up to 4 to 5 times in a row. It gets kind of boring after a while. They should have had this voting system like they do in Call of Duty. You know, there's like 2 maps and then the third option is random. So I don't know why they didn't do this. Restricting player choice within a game is the most obnoxious thing a game developer can do. One time when the game modes were rotating, the game actually froze on me and I was forced to restart my game. If Turf War is supposed to be the regular battle game mode, why is it only restricted to 2 maps? Like, restricting it to 2 maps I think is just really dumb. The game mode, Turf War, doesn't really matter all that much. It's just a way for newer players to, I guess, play and stuff and not really care about ranking and all that stuff. So why not just have all of the maps available? If your argument is, well, it's because you can't change your equipment when you're in the lobby, that's a pretty dumb argument because that's another flaw within this game. When you're in the lobby waiting for other players to join, you can't change your equipment or even back out of the lobby. You're forced to play the next game that's about to come up. You're not allowed to change the options within the lobby or in game. Like, what if you want to find out what your sensitivity is? You know, like, what if you want to find that out? You're going to have to keep trying and experimenting with different options and the motion controls. I have no problem with the motion controls, but not being able to turn them on or off in lobby or mid-game seems like an issue to me that shouldn't even be happening to begin with. Also, being able to play with your friends is a hassle. One friend has to join a lobby, then the other friend has to quickly join off of that friend into the lobby before he gets filled up. And you aren't even guaranteed to play with each other either. He might be on the enemy team that you are on. So a simple feature such as playing with your friends is absent from this game's core multiplayer. Also, the mobile app is pretty stupid. Voice chat is really restrictive and is very inefficient. With other apps like Skype and Discord available on mobile devices, some may ask, why would I download the Nintendo app? Well, you can check your match history, your personal stats, and the schedule for the next rotation of the game mode. Some may view this as a positive since the app is more than just a voice chat app, but this is a negative for me. The fact that Nintendo had to cram all this stuff in onto the app just to make fans think that the app is worth something is ridiculous. Why not just have all of this stuff on the game itself? Like, other games don't require you to download a mobile app so you could view the match history and your personal stats. Despite all of this ranting I've been doing, Splatoon 2 Online is still super duper fun on the gameplay aspect. I spent so many hours of the first week when this game launched, and I was having a lot of fun. But the amount of issues that the game has surrounding the gameplay itself, like the random attributes for your equipment and restricting the maps and game modes with the rotating cycle, it's a bit of a mess. Nintendo knows how to make fun games, but the structure around said game is a bit of a mess. I feel like Nintendo didn't even look at other shooters and applied it to their own shooter. A simple feature like backing out of the lobby or even playing with your friends is absent here. There's this new game mode called Salmon Run, and it's pretty much a horde mode but with Splatoon characters. Each game consists of 3 waves of enemies to come at you. As you keep playing Salmon Run, the waves will get gradually harder and harder. The game mode is super duper fun with friends. They actually made it easy for friends to join a lobby within this game. In Salmon Run, you will be given a random weapon and you have to go and collect the eggs that the bosses will drop. As long as you meet the quota within all 3 waves, you will finish the match. Salmon Run is surprisingly really good. The bosses are well designed and thought out. Playing with your friends is super easy, and it's just a fun mode overall. Sadly, Salmon Run is not available 24/7. For some reason, it's only available on certain days, which is really weird, even weirder than the rotating game modes in the core multiplayer. Because this is a co-op versus AI mode, you'd think they would have this open 24/7, but nope, it's only available on certain days. Oh, Nintendo. So what are my final thoughts on Splatoon 2? This game is very, very fun in terms of the gameplay. I spent so many hours within the first week that this game launched. I was having a lot of fun. But there's a lot of things surrounding the gameplay, you know, the interface, the way certain things work that just hold this game back from being my game of the year, honestly. Like, the fact that I can't play with my friend in a easy way, or the fact that all of my attributes on my equipment is random, like all of this stuff, like they should have taken pages out of Call of Duty and other shooters and applied it to their own shooter, but I guess Nintendo just wants to do it their own way, and their own way is not that great, honestly. So overall, Splatoon 2 is a great and fun time, but it has a lot of flaws, and if you're able to get past them, like I am to a certain extent, you will have a great time with Splatoon 2. So if you own a Switch and you have yet to pick this game up, pick it up now. But if you have yet to own a Switch, definitely keep an eye on this game because this game is really, really good. So that is my review of Splatoon 2. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys have not already, you can subscribe. I put new videos up every single Saturday. Want to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter. You can do that as well. I put updates of my future videos on there whenever I can. And yeah, I think that is about it. Thank you guys for watching this video again. I'll see you guys next time with more videos. Game on, gamers.